is a BFF? It's that someone who bridges that gap, between friend and family. Welcome to Ciaz Presents Vogue BFFs, powered by U-Mobile, style partner Myntra. We are gonna have a host of celebrity BFFs talking about fashion, playing games, and revealing secrets only they know about each other. It's the first of its kind, and it's starting on a high. Deepika, hi.
Hi.
Come on in.
Thank you.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Okay.
If your life were a movie, what would the title be?
Life is beautiful.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
I must have been a toddler.
Mommy dearest. If you could be any one of the Spice Girls, who would you be?
Posh and sporty, I'm confused.
If you were reborn as a food item, what would it be?
Rasam and rice.
What's the one thing you just can't live without?
I can't live without sleep. I love sleeping.
What's the one thing on your bucket list?
Learn how to play an instrument.
Brilliant. What's the last time you weren't recognized?
It's been a while.
What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones.
What TV show would you kill to make a cameo in?
The Suits.
Okay, you'd make a good lawyer. Which male celebrity are you totally crushing on right now?
Cliched but true, Bradley Cooper.
Okay, he's kind of cute. And if he came over right now, Bradley Cooper, what would you say to him?
You've reached the right place.
Give me one word to describe the following celebrities. Sonam Kapoor,
Fashionista.
Imtiaz Ali,
Hot.
Sanjay Leela Bansali,
Magician.
Saif Ali Khan,
Suave.
Virat Kohli.
Ace.
What's something new you learned in the last couple of months?
To cook Italian food.
Lovely. What's the last thing you Googled?
The meaning of a word I can't remember.
Good enough. What's your favorite app?
Shazam.
Favorite cocktail?
Mojito.
Favorite boy band of all time?
Backstreet's back now.
Favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal? The sea salt cookie. A big sea salt cookie with lots of ice cream.
Okay, well, I've got the next best thing. I heard you love dense chocolate cake. You want some?
Yes! Excuse me.
Enjoy.
Oh my god!
And just save some for me, just a
Do
little
I
bit.
have to? Okay, fine.
Okay, let's continue. Who would win a dance-off between Ranbir Kapoor and Ranveer Singh?
Tough.
You can do it.
I'll get into a lot of trouble. No. No.
You're not allowed. You've got to pick
Okay,
one.
this is my answer.
Oh, that definitely sounds like Ranveer Singh to me. Who would win a fight between Vin Diesel and The Rock?
Vin, come on.
An arm wrestling match between you and Priyanka Chopra?
She would. She's really strong.
Okay, if you could steal one thing without getting caught, what would you steal?
Food.
Which celebrity style sense would you want to steal?
Gigi Hadid.
Very nice. Which celebrity's brain would you want to pick?
Kalki.
And which celebrity's gracefulness would you want to imbibe?
Hema Malini.
Okay. Text or FaceTime?
FaceTime.
Lipstick or lip gloss?
Lipstick. Red.
Red. Sexy. Night at the club or night on the couch?
On the couch.
Stilettos or sneakers?
Sneakers.
Mommy's pet or daddy's girl?
Daddy's girl.
3 qualities a man must have to date Deepika Padukone.
He used to be funny. He used to... Okay. He used to be tall. He used to be good look. No! Please, these are like... He used to be a good human being.
Now we're getting
So
beyond-
boring. So boring.
Okay, complete the sentence. Love is...
Love is... Come on, Deepika, you can do this. Love is not blind. Blind. I don't know, I'm confused.
Both will do. And finally, Deepika, who else are we chilling out with today?
I hope a really, really close friend, someone I'm very comfortable with, someone I'm really fond of, someone who's a lot of fun. Do I say it? Someone who's actually been a very, very important part of my journey.
Okay.
Anita.
Ah, Anaita, where are you? Our first guest on the show is someone who in under a decade has modeled her way to the top, marched way ahead of her contemporaries in the Hindi film industry, and is now all set to make her big budget Hollywood debut. The cherry on the cake, Deepika Padukone is now also India's highest paid female actor. With her on the show is someone who's influenced her life both personally and professionally, counted among the leading voices in India's fashion community, and among the first to introduce the concept of styling to the ad and film world. Vogue fashion director Anita Shroff Adajania is always ahead of the trend. Deepika, Anita, welcome to the Vogue Loft. So great to have you guys here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Both looking gorgeous.
Thank
Gee,
you.
who's dressing as this? Have you styled her?
Of course I have.
She styled me and I styled her.
Lovely.
It's true.
True friends.
Don't I look amazing?
I want to know, how's Hollywood been treating you? That's new in your life.
Good. I was very nervous, honestly, before I left. Nervous about working in a new environment, nervous about working with new people, in a new medium, because you're used to acting in Hindi and then you suddenly start hearing yourself in English or acting in English. It just sounds different. But I think it just took me a day to get used to this whole new process. And I think what helped was working with Anita and Homi, and we'd done Finding Fanny, where I'd already spoken in English. So I think that just made that process easier.
How did you break the ice with the whole XXX crew and cast, of course?
You know, I think eventually when you're there for all the right reasons, when you collaborate for all the right reasons, and when you're there because you just want to have a good time and make a fun film, everything just falls into place. And everyone was there to just make a good film.
But yes, Mr. Diesel, what was he like?
He's like a teddy bear.
Is he?
Yeah,
He
he's
looks like
everything that completely opposite of what I thought he would be. I thought he's going to be like, I thought he'd be mean, and I thought he'd just be like, whatever, you know, like, yeah.
Big guys are usually the
Yeah.
softies.
But he's just so lovely. He's just so giving, and he's so warm, and he's so friendly, and yeah.
Good. What was it like for you to see Deepika suddenly in these teasers of this major Hollywood action franchise?
I mean, I have to say, for me, I wasn't surprised at all. From the moment I started working with her, I always felt that she had this mass global appeal. I felt she's here to take over the world. And she will. I mean, recently, in fact, so many fans sent in these, photographs of her in a Vogue eyewear campaign, which I've styled for her for 4 years, all over Times Square. And I felt this feels right. This is a baby step. Now it's going to get bigger and bigger. I've always seen her as the ultimate Bond girl. And I think she's only going to fly.
I believe it. Look at her, even just now.
Guys, stop.
Let's rewind a bit to the time when you first met this girl.
I don't even know if she remembers.
Probably all a blur.
Yeah.
But you must.
Of course
Tell me,
I do. I will tell you. It was at Lakme Fashion Week in Delhi, and she was very athletic, a wholesome girl, and I was like, this is so refreshing.
Right.
And there was a quiet confidence to her that totally took me over. And then I remember after a couple of shows, I saw her walking in the corridor, and I think she wasn't even aware that every man, a woman, cat, dog, even the resident rats were falling down looking at how beautiful she was. And I spoke to her and I said, we really have to work together. We must shoot together. And she was like, yes, okay. But I think that the thing that struck me about her is I've always felt that she's more of an athlete first.
Okay.
Of course she has sports in her blood. We all know that.
I relate to that.
But she's got that in her. So there was a quiet knowingness, and like the ultimate professionalism, but yet this drop-dead gorgeous beauty. So I was smitten. I never ever
don't
thought
remember any of
that,
this.
Yeah, because you were so bloody reserved. But I never thought that our paths would cross so much if I think back to that day. But I remember that corridor clearly.
And you guys have been like this ever since, huh?
Yeah.
The time I remember Anita from, and I said this to you last time, I don't know if you remember, Ranbir and me were in a car, and we were driving in, And Ranveer was just staring, like he was just... So I
Of
was
course.
I was like, what? Like, who are you looking at? He's like, there. I said, He was like, that's Anita, and I think she's really hot. So that's my first memory of Anita. I was like, who's this Anita?
Yeah, because once I jokingly said to him, "Arey, you're my bacha." He's like, "Don't ever call me bacha. Please, I'm like your equal. I'm like your friend." I'm like, okay, you're hot.
Fine.
Let's leave it at that.
But you actually, I mean, your parents don't live in Mumbai.
No.
And I think when that happens, I sort of had the same experience. You end up relying on your friends.
Yeah.
And they become your support system. In that sense,
They are my go-to.
What role would you say that Anita has played in your life?
The minute I know that I need to fall back on someone, it is them. And it's them as a family. When I went through depression 2 years ago, she was the first one I told. We were going to an event somewhere and I was sitting in the back of the car and we were all driving together and I said, Anita, I'm not feeling okay. Like, I didn't know what it was at that point, but I was just, I could talk to her. I could say, you know what, I'm not feeling okay. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm not enjoying my work anymore. I don't know if I need to go back to Bangalore, but something's not feeling right. She was the first one I told.
But speaking of that, I mean, I think it's extremely brave of you to even come out and talk about your depression.
Honestly, I mean, it's one thing to go through something. We've all been brought up in India thinking, if your problems, you keep at home. You don't air them. And I remember, even though she worked through it all, she had become a stick figure. She was sleeping erratically, smiling on the outside, doing her job, being the professional that she always is. But it takes great admiration to stand up and say, I had an issue. And I think thanks to her, so many people have been able to stand up and address their mental issues. And I think that's a huge, huge step forward.
Hats off to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What's she like when you're working with her?
What's she like? She's naked when I'm working with her.
Nice. Great imagery. Comes with the job, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, how else would she be?
Which is how her
right?
little son has seen her first.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like just born and Anita, my friend, she was
were
heavily
doing Love
pregnant. First of all, she was
Aajkal.
heavily pregnant during Love Aajkal.
But I remember more importantly doing fittings for Love Aajkal after the baby was
And
born.
then cut to after the baby, where I think like 2 weeks later she was back to work, or I don't know, a couple of weeks later she was back to work.
Absolutely.
And she's brought Zray.
No, you came home.
Correct.
You came
I was in
home.
your room.
I was feeding, she was doing fittings, and then, and progressively the film kept going on, and she's like, you think he's watching? I'm like, of course he's watching. Why wouldn't he?
We'll get into easier topics now. Relationships. You've always been seeing someone or linked with someone. Would you say you're like a little love-struck puppy? Or are you someone that just has to be royally wooed?
Rude?
Wooed.
Oh, wooed. Like rude. No.
No? No to what?
I don't know. I'm very confused. Tell us, Anita, about your love life.
I feel
I said about your love life.
I feel with the number of men swooning over her, how can
Right.
she resist?
Well, the fans seem to love you and Ranveer together. What boxes has he ticked?
All heart.
Yeah? That's sweet. Okay, and there's one other question that I just have to ask. You had a little crush on someone. Both of you, in fact.
Yeah?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh,
God.
I was like, who's listening in on our conversations? Okay.
And you got to work with him.
I was just helping my classmate friend Karan and Aditya Chopra doing some casting, and by the end of it, they conned me into playing the role I was casting for.
Well, she agreed to
But
do it because
I
Shah
did.
Rukh was in the movie,
Exactly.
and we know she has a crush on him.
and
Was
that
that was her only way to get
actually,
so close to
that was my introduction to the Indian film industry. I didn't grow up seeing films or watching television. I had no idea what it was, and they kept saying,
Anita को इंटी मालूम नहीं है.
मैं तो
नहीं
इतनी
मालूम है
पार्टीज में
Hindi.
जाती हूँ कि कुछ याद ही नहीं रहता.
So you're a self-professed shitty actor.
Yeah.
But then you starred in another film or did a cameo in another film.
Same people bullied me into it. Same people. It wasn't like I went there saying,
Okay.
now I'm going to take my acting very seriously.
Which
I
was the
there.
second one?
In
Kal Ho Na Ho.
Kal Ho Na
Oh,
Ho.
Kal Ho Na Ho.
Yeah,
Ah,
and I
okay.
feel like my biggest regret in Kal Ho Na Ho was I was so nervous doing it that in every take Shah Rukh was like kissing my hands and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. But I kept screwing up. So finally the take they used, he's not even kissing me. It's so sad. But for the record, he kissed me a lot. is too gorgeous, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, just that chest of his, he knows, it's just like a weakness for me, I have to say.
Do you know about that chest?
I think you should just let her keep talking.
How long have you been styling?
I think for me, it's been like almost 25 years or 24
25
years
years.
now. Yeah.
I
That's how
remember
old
doing
I
a
am.
cover with you years ago on some rooftop somewhere. Were you doing films then?
Okay, see, chronologically, I know nothing.
Okay.
I just know I did this,
25
did
years ago.
that. I don't
Yeah,
know
so
what
I
happened
think it was about
when.
the same time.
No, but I wasn't doing films right in the beginning. That happened much later. I think it happened. I started doing the styling the songs for all of Karan's films.
You started Doom.
Then Adi offered me a film, which I
right.
won't name, which I couldn't do. And then I started the Dhoom series. So Dhoom was my first film.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Cocktail.
we've done 5 films
And
together.
on and on.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Cocktail, Tamasha.
Tamasha. I loved her look in Tamasha too.
Ladies, this is the Siaz Style Files, and this is where we basically take a walk down memory lane and we take a look at your style evolution.
Okay, this is very embarrassing, let me say.
I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, are you ready for me to unveil photo number 1, Deepika? This is so cute. My first photographs or studio shoots were also with family pictures.
Such a good-looking family.
Seriously, so you look about 6 years old here.
I must be about 5 or 6. I remember this picture was taken by Wasim Khan.
Wasim, yeah.
And I remember doing my first ever photo shoot with him. And I was so stiff in front of the camera that he had to play songs from Hindi movies to actually get me to dance. And while I was dancing, and I remember it was a Madhuri Dixit track. Anyway, so, but that was around the same time. And then we decided to get some family pictures as well. I think my sister looks adorable.
Yeah, you know, I just
really
realized
cute.
that I've actually styled every person in your family.
this life.
At some point. Yeah, yeah.
And then 10 years later,
Yeah.
and I think this is definitely, you've sort of come out of your shell. You look very similar. How old were you here? About 16?
This is, yeah, that awkward age.
I don't know.
16, I think.
If this was your awkward age,
Yeah.
oh my God.
That is that awkward age. And I've done my own makeup. I don't know what I've done.
Done a
And
good
this
job.
was a proper like studio shoot, like one of those studios where you go, like you plan, like that evening everyone's time is booked.
Exactly.
And you make sure dad's back from work.
But
and
are you
everyone-
also wearing a salwar kameez? Only the other two I want to know.
No, I'm also wearing some.
you are?
No, I thought I was a little more modern, so I was wearing a kurta with jeans. No, I thought I was being really cool. So I remember getting that kurta stitched and designed myself. I bought some fabric somewhere, gave it to a designer, and got it stitched.
Okay, now speaking of evolution and modernism,
Ooh, sizzling.
do you remember this, the Kingfisher shoot?
Yes, of course.
Shot by Atul? You must have traveled somewhere
We
exotic.
were in Australia for this.
Okay.
And we had a great time. It was a lot of hard work. I remember all of us had to train for like 3 months before we actually shot for this.
You find it difficult to like maintain like a bikini body for shoots and stuff, or does it come naturally to you because you're an athlete?
I have no bikini body.
Please, after her bikini
Okay,
body
you're
and
not
cocktail,
allowed to talk
everyone is like salivating. Still is.
But I have to work. I have to
Train?
work. I have to work. It doesn't come
Yeah.
to me naturally.
Anaita, these red carpet looks, what goes into
She's
finally?
the queen of the red carpet, okay? Let me tell you that. I think, you know, for me, when I'm styling someone, their personality is really important. And with Deepika, I think we have the same style philosophy.
I was just going to say that I feel like my style has evolved, my personal style, even though you see very little of it because now everywhere we go, we're always styled. But whatever little style I have, I think so much of it has evolved because of working with someone like Anita. And so much, like she said, I think there is a lot of trust. A lot of times, I'm asked to wear things or I'm given things that I've never really seen before or worn before. But if she says it, I trust her.
That's nice.
You know, so I
Feels
think
good.
But
that
actually, you yourself must have a little bit of an eye for fashion and styling. I think you're designing now.
yes, but I think that's also that's more to do with my personal style. And my personal style, and Anita will tell you, is very simple, very minimal. I don't like accessorizing too much. I like one thing to be the focus. And I think my collection is an extension of that. A lot of softer colors, pastel shades,
Clean lines.
easy, comfortable.
Yeah.
For me, comfort is important. I think it's
who
important.
Who are you doing this with?
With Myntra.
Okay.
And the brand is called All About You, and All About You because I want girls to know that fashion or style or whatever they wear, it has to be about them. It has to be an extension of your personality. That for me is very important. I feel a lot of times, and ironic that I say it here, but a lot of times I think there's so much
sensory overload,
and people telling us what to wear and what's in and what's not, and this is cool, that sometimes we forget what we are all about.
Yeah. Moving on. When we talk about iconic looks, I think these images definitely come to mind. So these are from your 2 films.
Yes.
Cocktail and Tamasha.
Yeah.
And I believe the simplest things like this, and you've done all of this, haven't you?
Yes.
And you've created trends by just simply tying a knot at the side of your t-shirt or this stringy bustier.
But I tell you the one thing that has always worked, is for me at least, is to go with my instinct. It's never been to be a trendsetter.
Never fails you.
It's never been to, sell clothes because I'm not a designer. It makes no difference to me if people buy this or not. But somewhere along the line, we've set trends.
Yeah.
I mean, Deepika being the way she looks, makes everything look so amazing. Every girl wants to look like her. And I'm, to be honest with you, this was what, 5 years ago?
I remember this skirt.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
People have copied every version of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is this Cyrilli?
No, this is All Saints.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Ah.
No, but even today, this skirt exists in high street stores. So that's how iconic it became. But for me, it was that. Yeah.
Also because this was the first time you saw me on screen as Veronica, and I think it just kind of set the tone for that character and for that film and what people should expect in the movie. I think this is the right time for me to say that it's so important what a stylist brings to the film. I think half the battle of becoming that character is won.
Absolutely.
When you start looking the part.
And you start feeling
And you start feeling it. You have to start
internalizing it
feeling,
then.
I'll act and I'll do all of that, but it's also important to look the part, and clothes play a huge...
Well, you certainly look the part here, honey. Okay, moving on to our last 2 images. Ooh. Just as iconic on the other side of the fashion quotient, and this is a few years later. Describe this to me. What was happening here? These are
from
Mastani.
Bajirao. These are from Ramlila.
Yeah.
Again, 2 very different looks, even with the hair and makeup, very, very different. With this, we went with, more raw, the eyes, very, very different. And this was more clean, like he wanted to see my skin, because there was one image of Mastani that we had as a reference, and we used that image as a reference for everything else that we did. And you see that image of hers, and you can literally see the veins on her skin, and so we used that. And even with the hair, we just kept it really just beautiful and just clean.
Well, you carry it off beautifully.
I
And this, I know this is very special for both of you.
Absolutely.
I think you were telling me earlier about 8 Vogue covers. This is 4 of them.
Yes.
And we have your first ever.
My first ever.
cover.
Shot by Paolo Roversi, the Paolo Roversi.
And styled, all 4
Yes.
styled by you, of course,
Yes.
Anita.
Yes.
Do you get a real sense now, looking at your first one and then your last one, of how far you've come?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I feel that often.
Yeah?
And I think that is the way to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be where I was 10 years ago. You want to learn, you want to grow.
Absolutely.
You want to learn with every experience. And I mean, I will look at this and say, oh my God, I looked so different. But you evolve,
And I think it's everything. I think look at the body confidence. I mean, I remember this cover being so iconic because we called her the queen of Bollywood, right? It was a big statement to make.
Right.
But the thing is, we felt it in our gut. It wasn't something we were doing for publicity. She was and is. So I think in that sense, it was really perfect.
But I think the key to any good shoot is having fun.
Yeah.
You have to have fun. You have to work with a fun team, and you have to have fun. I don't think you can go after iconic images. I think that just happens. You need to know that you're working with a fun bunch of people, and everyone's there, to have fun and have a good time. And I think everything else just flows.
Yeah, I think people are just inspired. When you're inspired with a fresh thought, not something you've seen necessarily before, you can create beautiful images. And that's what we've done.
Totally done
She
that.
makes it so easy. She makes it so easy.
Okay, wait. It's like, what next?
That was amazing. I totally got to know and learned a lot about you, Deepika. And of course you, Anita. And for those of you out there who really want to emulate Deepika's style, well, I hope you got a few tips here. This is that part of the show where we get to find out just how well you actually know each other. It's really simple. We're going to play a game of true and false.
Okay.
I'm going to give you guys these paddles.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you questions about Deepika and you questions about Anita, and you tell us
Quick
the answer
drink.
with your paddles. Okay,
What
ready?
does the winner get?
Yeah.
A kiss on the cheek.
From?
Me.
Yay! Yes. I want to win.
Okay, Anita, we're going to start with you. True or false? Deepika Padukone was born in Karnataka.
No.
Do you know the answer? Or is that a guess?
I think she was born abroad.
But you take a guess, Anita.
Mumbai. London.
Oh.
Those two are my guesses.
Dang.
Third strike, you're out. And she will whack you with that.
Copenhagen?
I knew it.
Copenhagen.
See, I told you I have no memory.
yeah.
But at least I was right. 1 point to me.
Because she said not
half a
Karnataka.
point.
Hello.
0.5.
Your question was she born in Karnataka? True or false? I said false.
Okay.
1 point.
Do we give it to her?
Yeah, for sure.
give it to her.
Nobody argues with me.
Deepika, your turn. True or false? Anita originally wanted to be a filmmaker and not a style consultant. False. The answer is true.
You wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, and then I realized really quickly it was really crap. And I only enjoyed the styling and the set and all of that.
So, I mean, that was a mistake in her head.
True or false? Anita once told Hrithik Roshan that he wears his pants too high and his clothes too tight. All right. And that's when you went on to style for him.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Anita, true or false? Besides badminton, Deepika was also a state-level table tennis player. False. She got the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Like, it's
win again.
She's right.
Yeah.
At last, Deepika, true or false? Anita has recently turned into an absolute gym rat. Okay.
Like twice over.
That
That's
says
never
it all.
happening.
No.
She just has to breathe and she looks like that.
I just inhaled it.
Very good. You guys actually
Yeah.
really do know each other.
Now,
Brilliant.
ab bolo.
Okay, now this is a part where the internet wants to know. And if you don't know the answer, get
Okay.
creative, wing it,
Oh, God.
whatever.
Okay.
Okay, does Deepika Padukone have an OCD? An obsessive compulsive disorder?
Yes. So I have this thing of like cleaning spaces. So whenever I'm in my own house, somebody else's house, my trailer, someone else's trailer, I start tidying up and cleaning things and everything. Even if something's at an angle, that angle has to make sense to me. Like it has to be at that particular angle. Everything has to be clean and
Okay, the next question. What is Deepika's haircut called?
long.
It's called outgrown.
We told you the internet's got some pretty random questions out.
A long layered cut.
Okay, very nice. Who's Deepika's best friend?
Anita?
For today at least.
For today.
No, she has some lovely old friends.
Okay, what about your diet? What is Deepika's diet? That's another question we found on the internet.
I eat everything.
Yeah.
And on that
You
note,
like my chocolate cake?
I love this chocolate cake.
Also, not just everything.
I eat everything
Literally.
and lots of everything, yeah.
Okay. And are you left-handed?
You should know this.
Wait, you were eating.
left-handed?
You were
No.
eating right now with your right hand.
Yeah, she writes with her left hand, no? No, I don't know. She hugs with both hands. That's all.
So are you
Such
like?
a con artist.
Are you ambidextrous?
No. So I do everything with my right hand, but like a left-handed person
Oh,
would.
you write it like.
So I write with my right, but I write like this. Because most people who write with their left hand write like this,
my
but I
son
write
does.
like
Oh, yeah?
this. Yeah.
Okay, finally, the last question, Deepika.
And that's not because people copied or whatever. It's just
Not because?
People were copying from her paper.
a lot of people thought I wrote
trying to
really
cover-
wrong answers, so I was trying to cover.
Yeah.
But I never wrote any. I didn't have anything to say. I would have failed all my exams. So there was nothing to copy.
Okay. Final question, does Deepika wear glasses?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. For
Short-sighted
distance.
or far-sighted?
For distance, yeah.
Okay.
Short-sighted.
Okay, we're gonna move on to you now, Anita. You did quite well there. I told you they'd be random. Given that you're constantly calling out trends before they happen, we're gonna ask you to respond to questions about fashion.
Oh, easy breezy.
Okay? So what's currently trending in fashion?
Well, the 80s are huge. Everyone's, like the big shoulders you see there. Your 80s up to.
Totally channeling
Yeah,
David Bowie here.
Absolutely. So the 80s are in sweatshirts, athleisure, all of that is in, and very easy for everyone to copy. So nice oversized boyfriend jacket, or
Okay.
boyfriend pants. Yeah, so the 80s.
What's an old-fashioned trend that is set to make a comeback?
An oh god, that would be the 80s too. But I think there's a huge
That's already here, right? What do you
revival
think is-
movement that's going on in India. And if, like so many of these young designers and also senior designers who are creating, going back to the weave, to hand woven, hand finished. And I think for me that's a really refreshing trend.
So the whole artisanal work.
Absolutely, and it's also about purity, being a purist. Not cutting corners, but everything is a stitch, one done at a time. And also, I think bringing back the sari. That's the best trend that I want to see.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
With the
She's
sari?
fantastic in the sari.
I'm sure you look lovely in them. Anita, is the fashion industry hard to get into?
Honestly, I don't think so at all. I think it's a very easy industry to get into. It's huge.
Okay.
Right? It's only growing. And we have amazing fashion institutes in our country which are educating people. I mean, there's so many of us that have spawned an industry. I think it's just all about taking a chance. But I think the most important thing that people don't do is they don't give it enough time.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks like in 3 minutes they've become a stylist or a photographer.
Yeah.
They don't give in that enough of the time. But I think it's very easy and it's a very open industry.
Okay. Finally, what is the worst style trend of the decade?
For me, I think it would be PVC. Like sticky, hot clothes, which was
As opposed to leather?
as opposed to leather. Yeah, totally. Like overshine, which you only wear once, and then it looks like shit after that. So yeah, I think PVC. Also, like getting in and out of it. Like I think there's an episode in Friends where Ross is wearing, I think, some kind of pants that she gets stuck into. So
Especially in this
yeah,
weather.
yeah, here it's impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think no more PVC, please. Yeah.
Deepika, you said you like to have fun at shoots.
Yes.
So considering that, we've created a game just for you. Our signature game, which is a blind food tasting.
Okay, since we love
Now,
food.
I love
and we're foodies, and we've taken all your allergies into account. It's a super simple game.
Okay.
We're gonna start with Anita getting blindfolded.
Okay.
Deepika
Guinea
putting
pig.
food items in your mouth, and you have to guess them.
Oh, I feel claustrophobic.
Okay, unveil the items.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Open.
How's your palate treating you, Anita?
Muli? Is it muli?
No, but like hot.
It is
How
on the
can you-
vegetable trail.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it
It's
good?
it's similar to something you're allergic to. It's similar to
God, that's
Yeah.
scary.
similar
Is it a
looks wise.
zucchini?
Yes.
Yes, well done.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
It
So
tastes quite good, I must
You
say.
and you've swallowed it as well, have you?
It's best tasteless.
ready?
Oh my gosh. Bite.
Ah. Some Szechuan. Okay.
Ready?
Okay, this one should be pretty easy.
Let's hope it's pleasant. Forget easy.
It's really pleasant.
Oh,
Oh no.
what is it?
Seriously, I thought
Vinegar.
Yes.
Okay,
God.
okay.
I thought this would be the
Just
easiest.
the connection between my tongue and brain was a little
But
screwed.
pretty good taste buds there, sweetheart.
Thank you. I'm a Parsi at the end of the day. That's the last now? Or?
I hope I don't have things. Ready?
Uh-huh. Yuck. Is it porridge?
Close.
Something like that.
Rava, like baby mush, baby
Yes!
food.
Yes! Bravo!
Well done.
Bravo.
Well
God.
done.
Now Deepika's got
Claustrophobic. Yeah.
Deepika's gotten a little taste of what's coming ahead. Okay, here we go.
Oh no. If it's something like liquidy,
Yeah.
they put on my tongue.
Okay, here's a straw
Think she
coming
can
to you.
see. How did you know that was going to be liquidy the first one around?
Vinegar.
There's no way I would guess this. It's something that you probably have for breakfast all the time.
Huh?
The second
Okay,
part
give
of
me
it.
Oh,
the
okay.
alphabet.
K.
Karela, choose Karela.
It's a Karela smoothie.
Ew.
Okay, now you take a small bite.
I know what this is.
What is it?
It's not olive, it's gherkin.
Yes.
Very good. Good job. Okay, open. Can I bring it to your
Isn't
tongue?
that strong?
Like a lizard.
Seriously.
It's mint ice cream. Chocolate and mint ice cream.
Well done.
Bravo.
And last but not the least.
Oh god.
You'll have to open your mouth for this. Do you have to open
so
your
scared.
mouth? Do no. Tongue in and mouth open.
So scary. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Nothing.
You gotta trust her, as you do with your clothes.
Mmm. Those crackly sweets.
Wow, wow. Well done. You're done.
True foodies you are.
Now I'll have the ice cream.
You guys are incredible.
Woo!
Your taste buds are incredible.
Thank you.
And you've been such great sports.
Y'all gave me really difficult ones, by the
I
way.
think
I
you
have
did
to say.
fantastic.
I think hers was really
gir-
like one thing, like vinegar, like
Baby
Szechuan
food.
sauce. Mine were like something with
You know the
something.
very ice cream we eat every day.
Okay, since you guys are such great sports, we're almost at the end of the show, but we're gonna get you to do one last thing, which is the Sia's cover shot.
Oh.
Huh? We're gonna get you to do a little
I thought this is where you give
posing.
us the diamond jewelry.
I was
and
just
the
going to
gifts
say,
and all.
is this where we get the hamper for being on the show?
No, you got a photo shoot. Probably better.
Very good.
Let's do it.
Okay, and for those of you guys watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of Sia's Presents Vogue BFFs, powered by U Mobile, style partner Mintra. Tune in next week, right here.